Hello, friends. Welcome back. We're going to do a breakdown of the new trailer that came out today for Halo Campaign Evolved. The Xbox Showcase was yesterday. This trailer was scheduled to come out one day later. It was weird they didn't announce it during the showcase, but that's okay. We're going to break it down. I have watched it a couple times, and this trailer just primarily focuses on the remake part of the game, not the prequel missions. It is notable that this is on PS5 Pro. Obviously, that's the highest end hardware. Of course, you have the Pillar of Autumn. Probably beginning of the game. This is the jump from Reach. I do like the subtle touch with the debris. Of course, we get a little bit of Johnson there, and he's the new voice actor. And I'm assuming they're just cutting to the end of the quote, as opposed to the original difficulties in the games where he had something different to say depending on the difficulty that you were playing on. One thing to note is the Marine armor does look more in line with some of the later parts of the series, a little bit of Halo 2, a little bit of Halo Reach. Halo 1 armor, if we can go back a little bit here, Halo 1 armor has a little bit more like big, bulky gray metal, almost like Space Marines from Alien. They do have the same general design. They do have the green eyepieces from Halo 1, but it is a little closer to the rest of the series. Some people don't like that. I don't mind that this game is changing things to make it more in line with the later part of the series. Halo 1 is great and it still holds up, but it is a little different because they figured some things out by Halo 2 and 3. Assumedly, this is the beginning of the game. This is when the Covenant boarding parties are coming. All opening cutscene stuff. Cortana, of course, is narrating. And it's interesting to see the drop pods from the outside in this. If we go back here, let's go back a little bit more. We can see, the whole they come in, we go out, they come in, that from the original game. We actually see what the drop pods look like, and they're very in line with Halo 2. This reminds me of the Halo 2 where they kind of break in and they have the sealed parts where they seal the glass after, reattaching to the ship. Of course, this is not opening cutscene stuff. We've seen this from the original gameplay demo and trailer. This is from the silent cartographer later, behind the security door, the gold elite with the energy sword. Probably, if it's going to be the same as the original game, the first time we're going to see the gold elites with the energy sword. Now we're back to opening cutscene stuff. We get our first view of Chief coming out of the cryo chamber. And early mission stuff, meeting up with Keys at the early deck. We get a good look at the armor there. And now we can see the drop pod. And one of the things I like in this scene is you can see the explosions. You can see the ship is getting ravaged, right? The Covenant are really destroying it. In the original game, you kind of see kind of the low polygon ship flying over with just taking Covenant blasts on the side. You get a lot of detail, like, hey, this is what's happening to this ship. Of course, we'll come back to the ship at the very end of the game. Alright, and coming to the ring. Looks great. I do like the design on the outside. And of course, this is back to gameplay. There's some gameplay later, but this is in-engine stuff, showing Sonic Cartographer assault in the control room. And this is our first little instance of the Flood. We do not see the Flood in terms of gameplay so far in any of the trailers. We don't know what they're going to look like. We don't know how they're going to play. We know they're going to be a little closer to Halo 3 in real time, that they're going to infect Marines. But this is the first instance we've seen anything with the Flood, and they're in containment in this. I'm guessing this is either from 343 Guilty Spark or maybe even the library. Okay, we've seen this. This is Silent Cartographer. All still cutscenes from that we've seen before. Alright, and here we have Truth and Reconciliation. I do like that this scene kind of gives you it's just not this random plateau that we're sitting way up. Like, hey, it's in kind of a mountain range. It almost looks kind of like an Arizona landscape. They're set up base, they're set up camp, and they're coming in at night to approach, and they're going to land a little bit further away in the hills. course, we have Cortana there. This is from Truth and Reconciliation as well. After we've rescued Keys, we get a little bit of Cortana, a little bit of Chief. I actually, the still frames for Cortana did not do her justice, and I think the same thing for Johnson. When I saw the leaked images for Johnson, he looked old and just not very Johnson-like, and same with Cortana. I do think in motion, Cortana and Johnson both look a lot better. Okay, this is 343 Guilty Spark. This is after Cortana's left the assault control room, and Chief is coming down searching for keys. It is very, very dark and gloomy. Something that the Anniversary Edition did was brighten it up and make it alien and colorful, but it really took away from the atmosphere. So I love that this mission is going to still be dark, creepy, gloomy. They really, I'm really hoping they lean into the horror of the Flood as much as they did in the original trilogy, because I know Halo for a while has been rated T for teen, and we can't do scary stuff, and we can't do blood, and we can't do sci-fi horror, even though like so much of this game is inspired by things like Alien and Predator, and things that are a little more mature. So I'm really glad we're going back to that. I'm really curious to see how this level looks in its full scope. Now this is from the second mission, Halo. Let's see if I can go back here. I'm assuming this is one of the cutscenes when you're picking up the Marines that you rescued from the dropships. I'm guessing this is the ending cutscene where Chief's probably going to get on with them, or maybe they have a cutscene for all three. But you know, the Marines, you saved them from the hills. You went and found the 3 dropships. That's my assumption, at least. There's not really another grassy level in the game. This is from Assault on Control Room, and we do see that he's got the shotgun here. He's got the green sights on it, so it's a little more in line with Halo 2 and Halo 3 as opposed to the blue in the original game. It is important to note that we are getting the shotgun, and they're going to show some gameplay in a little bit. We will be getting the shotgun earlier in this game than we did in the original, unless they're just showing gameplay from Skulls that remixes things. But in the original game, you would not get the shotgun until you met the Flood. That was in 343 Guilty Spark, the 6th mission of the game. There's a lot of gameplay showing the shotgun way earlier in this footage. And of course, there's more weapons than just the original 8 as well. Yep, so here's back on Halo, which I also love. This looks so much more opened up than the original. Like Halo back in the day in 2001, it looked like hey, you know, this is like an open world, even though at the end of the day it was a very linear level, and the end of the level was a little bit, you know, open. You can make some choices. This is very, very open. It is huge, you know, and by all means, there's cliff walls on the left and right. It's probably going to be a linear level at the end of the day, but the reimagining this just looks bigger. Now, of course, also to note, there's a couple things here. One, I believe this is actually a plasma grenade that was just thrown, not 343 Guilty Spark. Yeah, that was a plasma grenade. Of course, we had just thrown a grenade here. I do like the explosions. I hated the Halo Infinite explosions. I thought they were lackluster. Halo explosions have always been like pretty awesome in my opinion, and like going back to Halo 3 with the lighting effects when you blew up a Scarab or a Wraith, and it would kind of have that lens flare. Halo Reach had tons of effects, and I hated Halo Infinite's little like poof and gone. So I do love the explosion here, but also to note again, second mission of the game, and we have a shotgun. We didn't have that in the original, so we are getting some weapons remixed here, which I really do appreciate. I don't want this to be a one-to-one of the original. Of course, we've seen this. We have Hunters. This is on Silent Cartographer. Nothing really new here we haven't seen from 7-8 months ago. So here we have Truth and Reconciliation. Of course, fun. We have Blood is back. We see a lot of blue blood from the grunts there. We also see that the grunts will be doing their little methane jet launch if you blow up in their back, because you can see the green methane launching him. But this is definitely Truth and Reconciliation. We have the sniper here. We have the grav pad. We've got the desert locale. This is 100% Truth and Reconciliation. Some of the first gameplay we've seen of it. Here we have the ending of Halo first mission. A little bit more gameplay. The structure looks very similar. I'm guessing this is the one. Maybe they show it in the very beginning here. This has got to be the cliffside one, which was actually remade in Halo Reach into a firefight level. Yeah, we're definitely on the cliff side here, and it looks somewhat one-to-one. These structures over on the left were a little bit closer in the original, at least from my memory, but going up the hill over here, and then you have the other structure, which should go down beneath, if I'm not mistaken, and if they haven't changed it in this game. So it's just more of the second Halo mission. Keys, which I did find interesting. His pistol looks a little fairly detailed. He's got a little insignia on it. I'm curious if that's a skin you'll unlock later as well, but it would make sense that the captain has like a higher ranking officer like custom weapon. I think that's a little unique. I don't know if that's true. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. It's really blurry in the scene, so it's hard to tell. Of course, we get a first look at the tank here, and this is a pretty good design. It's not. It's very close to the original, right? Because later games kind of pivoted to make it more realistic, but this looks very close with the whole big neck, thick neck here. Of course, this is back in Assault and Control Room. We have the explosions here and all the effects, and I do really think Unreal Engine looks great for this game. But this is where there's sometimes a Wraith hiding up on this cliff that's launching down. There's going to be some Banshees coming in, some Ghosts, there's some infantry. There might even be a couple turrets, like here and over here. And then this will go down into the cavern where you have that little bridge, which I think the bridge has been reimagined for this game a little bit. I don't know if it's in the screenshots or if it was in this trailer, but it's more of like an ice bridge than just a general cavern. Oh, we do, of course, also see the Marines will continue to be able to ride on the sides of the tank, which is great. Let's see what else we got. Okay, still on Assault in the Control Room. We're going to see a hijacking for the first time back. This is going up that hill where in the original game a spirit would be coming down as soon as you got to the top of the hill. I believe that's where we're at. That, or we're right after you got the tank and you're cutting to the left. The hijacking is back in this game. Oh yeah, this is definitely the hill. Now this is, I believe, at the end of Assault on the Control Room where you can take a Banshee. So originally in the game, it was a more natural structure. It was made of stone and snow and ice that you would go across, and you could hijack a Banshee. And it was I wouldn't say it was difficult, but it was a little bit of a challenge. I think there was achievement tied to it as well. This one, it looks like the bridge has been reimagined to be a proper Forerunner bridge going across, not just made out of stone. Yep. So, oh, let's go back here. Well, we see the landing platform way up above for when we go back to Two Betrayals is still up there, and we kind of see it looks more or less the same. We got those little like ridges coming off the side, so that'll be a little bit different. If we let go for another second. Yes, so originally this bridge was made of stone and ice, and it was a natural forming bridge that opened between this door and this door. And we see it's been reimagined to be a Forerunner bridge. Of course, we have the winding path all the way up to the top that we had before. And of course, you could choose not to take the Banshee, or if you were too slow, the elites would get in the Banshee and take off before you could. You would have to come across the bridge, go downstairs, and then climb up the assault on the control room here. So here, we're in the original. We're back at Pillar of Autumn, and very important to note, we have the SMG, which is cool. More weapons being added. Otherwise, this is more or less the same. This looks like... Oh, let's go back there. Looks like back on Silent Cartographer, so we've seen this before. But then we have what is assumedly Truth and Reconciliation. We're not really seeing a whole lot of the later half of the campaign at this point. So I'm imagining, one, they're still hiding the flood, which is cool. Two, this is the Purple Corridors. This looks straight out of the original game, just much prettier. And of course we have the fuel rod cannon, which, to note, it wasn't in the original game. It was in the original. They did have enemies holding it, but you could not use it. It would just explode. Unless you're playing the PC version in multiplayer, you could get the fuel rod cannon. I never played that. I don't even know where you would get that. I just know it's on the back of the cover. But the fuel rod will have the ability to ricochet off the wall, which they're going to show here in a second. Yep, right off the wall. We also get to use the energy sword, and similar to Reach, they have that parrying system where if you're swinging at the perfect time, you and the enemy, yep, well, hey, that one is dead. You and the enemy will parry off of each other. So, of course, there's no multiplayer, but that's also from Reach. Back to Assault and Control Room and Rocket Launcher, taking out Banshee. Now here is one of the few times we see anything from the second half of the campaign. This is assumedly after Chief had opened the door and the Marine fell on him and he picked him up and he's trying to back into the door. This is where you walk in and discover the flood. So still dark, still gloomy, even though you're in a Forerunner structure. So I really like that they're keeping this creepy atmosphere. Rescuing Keys. And I do like Key's design in this. I thought Key's was a little flat, and I especially did not like Key's design in Halo Anniversary with his like big wide eyes compared to everybody else. I really do like Key's design in this game. This is also from the end of the game. This is from the mall where we get to see the Sentinels. I do also like the cutscenes how Chief Shields will go off right there. But of course, we have Sentinels. They're about to break the glass, and he's about to take cover. We're about to go out of the cutscene and go finish the campaign, going to blow up the engine room. One of the few cutscenes at the end of the game, still no flood being shown. This is from Truth and Reconciliation. Assumedly, this is after you've rescued Keys or at the final cutscene. So we have the hunters coming in. Keys is trying to figure out how to pilot the spirit, and he rams the spirit into the hunters, which is about to happen as these hunters are approaching to kill Chief.
They're wrong.
Alright, back on the mall. Of course, this is where Chief, assuming they don't change it, Chief messes with Cortana, crashes the Banshee, but launches himself and is able to pick himself back up through the escape pod exit doorway thing. And that was the trailer. So if I think it's just going to show, yep, just the release day and then the collector's edition. So Halo Campaign Evolved, I think it looks so good. I know it's very, depending on who you talk to, very contentious. Some people don't like the fact that they're remaking it again. Some people don't like the fact that it's making changes to the original game. I think this game looks great. I think it's going to be a new, modernized experience. Whether it's better or worse than the original, that's going to be up to taste. That's going to be up to opinion. Of course, I don't want this to be a straight remaster again. I love the fact that we're making changes because I do think it's bringing it more in line with Halo 2 and Halo 3, as well as just modern audiences. In terms of graphics, because really, when we're talking about remaking a game, part of the reason you'd want to do it is just because you want to update the visuals. And I think this looks phenomenal. I think they've done a really good job with Unreal Engine 5. I don't know, of course, how much AI use or whatever. I know some people have very strong opinions about that. I can't say how much is actually being used here, but I think this game looks great. I think it looks fantastic. I am curious to see how it plays. Does it feel Halo? I know they're using the Halo Reach engine to kind of port this over into Unreal 5. So we'll see how it plays. I'm willing to bet it's going to still feel like Halo, but we'll find out in just over a month now. So anyways, guys, this was my deep dive into the trailer, the story trailer. It came out today. I'm looking forward to playing this game. Thank you for joining me this far into the video, and if you want to see more Halo content, especially for Campaign Evolved, if you want to like, subscribe, do those things, I'd appreciate it, but otherwise, just thank you for watching.